To fight back! Hiding covered in silence!
Okay, so I'm getting bored as hell of metal's modern production thing. Of everything being super flat, super clean. Everyone using the same distortion plugins. I think that pretty much things are losing their magic. There's actually nothing bad, technically. It's just that I find it boring. For example, you can check out DSI's latest album. The music is awesome, but the production is meh. It's like in blood, chaos, dirt, I don't know, it's just way too clean. Well, digital recording, that's why. And don't get me wrong, digital recording is fucking awesome. Non-destructive, free, easy. You can edit absolutely everything. You can zoom in on a track until you see its soul. Non-destructive edits, and the most amazing feature of them all, on Fun 2.
Just hit Control Z.
Oh god, this is incredible.
You sure do like keyboards.
Control, Command, C, and it never fucking happened. I mean, we have it so easy, so fucking easy these days. And nowadays you can go on forums, YouTube, and see the endless debate of analog versus digital. And obviously taking away that delicious tone and warmth and texture that you get while using analog, or maybe recording in analog. Team Digital. Team Digital all the way. Why? Well, it's 2025 and you are about to record a guitar track on your $300 laptop using a $100 interface with a very cheap or even free DAW. So if we pull the brakes right there and then we go back 40 years, yeah, you're pretty much fucked. Yeah, your best or maybe even only option was a photo track. Not cheap at all, with the castrating limitation of guess how many channels. Yes, 5. No, 4 channels. So yeah, besides there were no mic pre's on the first models. So just to lay it down, you have your drums, that's 8 channels on the conservative side of things, 2 guitars, vocals, bass, boom, 12 tracks. Needless to say, you needed to be extremely creative and constantly pushing the equipment to its extreme maximum capacity, using every single feature inside the recorder to get your way. Which, on its own, it's not a bad thing, because it would force you to study, learn, consume knowledge, and be extremely creative when it came time to record your stuff. But at the same time, the whole thing was extremely time-consuming, frustrating, and limiting. So back to my example. You're back in 2025 and you're about to lay down your guitar tracks. You start recording and then, oopsie daisy, you made a mistake.
Not quite my tempo. It's all good, no worries. Here we go.
You immediately look down your keyboard and then with your left hand and only using 2 fingers you press Ctrl Command C. And that's it. Nothing happened. The DAW will take you back to where you started recording. Back to 1985. Same situation, just keep in mind that if you are on a studio, on a professional studio, then consider yourself extremely lucky, because that means that you got yourself a deal with a label. Or B, you just returned from a bank heist in order to be able to pay for the recording session. Same thing, you start recording and then oopsie daisy, you drop the ball. The recording engineer will look at you like the unprepared piece of shit that you are. So in hopes that maybe after 7 or 10 minutes of operating the tape recorder, you wouldn't fuck it up again. Yes, albums recorded on tape, they have this kind of magic that, once again, digital will hardly be able to replicate. But huge, juicy, bouncy, delicious but recording on analog these days is just unviable. It's just a wrong tech idea, at least for us mere mortals. And why if I'm Team Digital would I go through the trouble of mimicking something recorded in analog? So basically this is going to be like my first attempt ever into trying at least to recreate that early 90s old school death metal sound or production. What I'm going to try to do is to mimic that early 90s Maury sound, or basically those albums that were produced by Scott Burns. I love those albums. I think that they sound fucking great. They are not super polished. It's like a beast that is about to lose control, but they keep the leash short enough so that it doesn't go out and destroys everything. Yeah, that's quite a metaphor. And I just love how it sounds. alive, raw, dirty, and delicious. And basically that's death metal. This is not pop, this is not jazz, this is not chamber music. Anyways, you're about to listen to my experiment. I really hope that this goes somewhere, that you might find this maybe helpful. And even if you end up hating how this thing sounds, then amazing, because this way you know exactly what not to do. And I'm basically doing everything inside the box. So remember everything that I said about analog. Yes, I'm about to shit all over that. Alright, so what I have here right now in front of me is a project of basically a couple of riffs that I was playing with last night that are going to become the song that we are going to... Why do I keep on saying we? I'm not fucking Smeagol. It's going to become the song that I'm going to use to create this Morrisound, you know, Scott Barnes type of death metal sound production. The plugin that I'm currently using is by Ogriton and is the old school death metal. I see that people sometimes they use like MIDI packs. That's not something that I normally use. I like to create everything from scratch. The only thing that I always need help with, and you will see in a few minutes from now, you're going to see me struggling with that, is when it comes to the drum fills. I suck at that. The song structure might change because I basically just grab a few riffs here and there, and I kind of like join them together without giving it a lot of thought. Every single time that I'm doing things, I'm programming drums, that intrusive thought comes into my head that I really want to learn how to play drums, and I think that's something I'm going to do just for fun. Maybe next year. This is the beauty of the digital era. Copy and paste. I'm a total basic bitch when it comes to fills. Once again, I'm not a drummer. Just going from the high tone to the floor tone, like a brrr. I have a love-hate situation with programming drums. I like it because obviously you feel that you are actually building the whole song. But it also, for me, it's like an anxiety-driven thing for me, because I get very carried when it comes to what to add here and there, and then I feel like I'm being quite repetitive, or the drums are sounding boring or anything like that. But I'm not going to worry much about that today, since it's old school death metal. Fuck it. Let's hear the whole thing. It's weird, doesn't feel right. And this is the end. And that's pretty much it. And maybe I'll play with some of the fields and whatnot, but the 95% of the structure is already done. I'm just gonna go with the bass parts. I'm going to record and track the main idea. I'm going to do the same with the guitars. I'm just going to add to capture the ideas there, and later on I'll just practice them again and again and again, and so this way I can record them in one go. That's another thing that I want to do with this project, is to record the guitars, both guitars, on one take. Maybe 2 takes, but I'm going to try to do it on 1 take because I want to have that same feeling, that not so polished and that more live. I know that having a live feeling being only one person is quite not possible, but at least I want to give that feeling to the song. And about this bass, this is an Ibanez Talman, I think is the the name. It's a Talman TB100, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, it's a 4-string bass. What I see with the bass on albums, that at least the ones that were recorded on Morrisound, is that they are not as distorted as the basses that you can hear nowadays on extreme modern extreme metal. I might add an amp, but it's not going to be something that extreme. Maybe we can add that in this part. Fuck! Man, I don't know if this happens to you if you're a guitar player, and all of a sudden you grab a bass. I just fell in love. I realized that I enjoy so much playing the bass. I think I enjoy it for the phone. I would rather just play the bass, and this is another instrument that I really want to learn how to play. Not only doing the same thing as the guitar, but actually learning how to play this thing. Shit. Oh, fuck me. Shit. Shit. Oh, okay. Okay, so far, bass is done. First of all, I'm playing this fucked up Harley Benton that I modded or tortured. Actually, I have a few videos about that guitar. I will place them somewhere here on the screen. This guitar is loaded with an Seymour Duncan SH14 Custom, I think. It's tuned to the standard, one step down, and what I'm going straight. Once again, I'm doing everything inside the box, so I'm going straight into my audio interface, and from there I am going to use basically, well, you see here on the mixer, I have 30 possible things or 3 possible tones that I'll be using. We have this channel called Leprosy, and guess which Alwyn is trying to mimic? Of course, Death's Leprosy. For this one, I'm using also this Tube Screamer BST thing, which is also free. Then I'm also using the JC MX100, and for the true cabinet, I'm using in here the Infector Mortuary. And I think this is the one that resembles the most, or that sounds very similar to the original thing. And well, it sounds something like this. Guitars are done. Well, everything that I'm going to mention is like the demo version, because obviously I need to then to record the final takes. Guitars are done, drums are done, bass is done, and now it's time for the voice. But first I need to write the lyrics for the song. And for me, definitely this is one of the most difficult parts. I have absolutely no idea what this is going to be about, or once again, I'm just going to keep it simple, gory, and aggressive, I guess. And yeah, wish me luck. All right, so I think I'm done. Just like I said, or actually it's something very basic, silly, I guess. Even though it took me quite some time, I guess, maybe, I don't know, 1 hour only to come with like these lines. I insist. Writing lyrics for me, it's a painful process. So this is done. Let's record some vocals. Okay, I'm back. Boom.
Want to make a sound? You'll know that it's coming.
Okay, I like it.
There's no way to fight back. Hiding covered in silence. They'll know where you hide. They'll hear your heart pounding.
No escape. Once on your trail, you'll fall headless.
No escape once on your trail. You'll fall headless.
Shit.
No escape once on your trail. You'll fall headless.
Shit.
No escape once on your trail. You'll fall headless on your knees. No escape once on your trail. You'll fall headless on your knees.
Okay, I'm happy with that.
Oh, it's getting hot in here.
Alrighty, so everything has already been mixed and mastered, and I wanted to take you in a little bit here on the session because basically this changed quite a lot. Have in mind that since I'm basically doing my best to emulate a recording done on tape, normally what you would do is to add plugins that would emulate a tape recorder and a mixer. I'm using a couple different ones. Then you would immediately add a plugin that would emulate a pre or maybe a mixer or maybe a channel strip. And in this case, I'm using the combination of two. For the pre, I'm using once again Console, which I think that this thing is amazing, and this actually is free. And then I'm using this, which is also free. Basically, you will see that maybe 70-60% of everything that I'm using here is free. This is also by Analog Obsession, and this is a channel strip. What I was trying to achieve was something in between Death's Human and Death's Leprosy. And by that, I meant that I tried to replicate the guitar tone on Human and the drums on Leprosy. Because I really, really love the way that the drums on Leprosy sound, like that nasty, full of reverb, exaggerated snare sample. And sadly enough, as much as I tried, I could not replicate it. I would kill to know exactly what sample was used so I could replicate that snare. It's so disgusting, but I love it so much. Guitar-wise, I was a bit confused because I swore that on Human he was still using the Marshall, the JCM 800s, or maybe the JMP 2203. But I started investigating and reading, and then all of a sudden I came by this interview that was done to Scott Burns, which actually he mentioned that Human was actually the first album where Chuck started using the valve state. So I was going the wrong direction there because I was basically using a JCM 800 emulation as well as a JMP emulation, but no wonder why I was having such a hard time to get that compressed distortion that the valve state produces. So on the guitars, this is once again a mix of free and paid plugins, but I'm basically using Audiority's Solidus VS8100, which this is an emulation of the very famous or unfamous Marshall valve state. And I'm using the same IR that comes inside this plugin. For the guitars, basically I quad-tracked the whole thing. I have two guitar span, hard left and hard right. Now for the bass, that was the simplest of things. The only thing that I'm doing is compressing here with this vintage compressor by Ozone. And then EQing the thing a little bit here with re-EQ. Adding some stuff that I wanted and taking some stuff that I don't need. And then for the drums, this was also one of the things that I struggled the most with. I was so obsessed with the idea of trying to get that Leprosy snare, which for me it was basically impossible. While I was going through a whole lot of albums from that era, I noticed that there isn't quite a pattern, drum production-wise. On some albums, you will see that the thing is fully sampled and mega-gated, and on some others, it's like fairly natural, so you can do whatever you like here. And then the other thing that I wanted to replicate was like the super exaggerated toms that you have on Leprosy. And what I did was basically to add a whole lot of saturation and a whole lot of reverb. So that this way, every single time that you make a drum fill, that thing just sounds as a barrage. And that's about it. You will see once again that on every single channel here, I have the tape emulation. I have a couple different ones. I used one for the drums, one for the guitars, and then a different one for the vocals. And that's it. That's pretty much it. I have, once again, for the effects, for the reverbs, and the delays, I'm actually using free plugins, which are pretty damn good. One of them is the Dragonfly Hall. They have, I think, 3 of this that you can grab for free. It's Hall, Plate, and there's another one, I don't remember. And then for the delay, I'm using this thing, which I find it's almost illegal that this thing is actually free. This is the Baby Comeback delay, which it will give you quite a retro 80-ish vintage type of delay. What I love about this thing is its simplicity. You only have the feedback, obviously the time, and something super important, which is the Docker. So this way you don't have yourself a super muddy delay. And then you have some presets that will basically change the tone of the tail. And I'm just using analog. Sounds good.
What you make a tone, you're not dead, it's coming. Bodies dropping off, legs like renters and hunting. There's no way to fight back, hiding, cowardly silence. Damn no, where you hide, they'll hear your heart pounding. No escape once on your trail, you'll find endless on your knees.
Man, I had a lot of fun recording and doing all of this, but I can't lie to you, it was frustrating and very confusing at times. I almost dropped the entire thing because I was not getting the results that I wanted. Normally when I'm doing something, I'm quite a bit obsessed when it comes to getting the exact same thing that I have in my head. Basically the main idea, tone-wise, that I wanted to recreate was the guitar tone of Human, then the vocals of Pestilence, Consuming Impulse, and then the drums of Leprosy. But it was very frustrating at the beginning for me not to be able to, to nail that tone. Same thing with the drums. Just like I mentioned, I really wanted to have that super huge, disgusting, snappy snare sound, but I didn't know how to replicate that. I wanted to basically recreate all of those elements in the song that I composed. So basically what I ended up doing was that at some point I just stopped listening to those songs so I wouldn't be as obsessed saying that it wasn't getting there. And basically I just started doing my own thing, respecting those parameters. So once again, I had a lot of fun by doing all of this. And I also discovered that I really like that valve stay up. And this basically affirmed the fact that I'm getting one. I have my sight on one of those things. Luckily, you can still find them pretty easy, even here in Europe. And they are still cheap, because normally people just dislike them, luckily. But hey, what matters here is your opinion. Please let me know what you think of this whole thing. Do you think that this actually sounds like something that was produced in the 90s? If there's something that I missed, if there's something that I'm missing, please put it down in the comments, because every single piece of information will help, and it actually helps a lot. Alexander from the future here, just to let you know that if you like this song, it's already on Spotify. I'm going to leave a link down below. If for some reason you don't like Spotify, later on I'll be uploading this song also on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, if you haven't by now, please like this video and consider subscribing to the channel. You can also support this channel by clicking on the super thanks button on the bottom of the screen, or you can buy me a beer. I will leave a link down below in the description of this video of my Buy Me a Coffee profile. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video. Play some nice, nasty, distorted and disgusting, muddy, old-school death metal. Get together with friends, find yourself a nice beer, and while you're doing all of that, headbang, because why the f not? Take care.